my fucking
What about Building 7? It wasn't hit by a plane, and it came down just like a Vegas casino.
Yeah, because of you realize that underneath the ground in New York, all around that area, everything it's all hollow. Okay, from when that building went down, it caused a world of shit, dude. It was like an earthquake. It was like a volcano earthquake all in one.
And a volcano and an earthquake all in one?
Yeah.
Really?
And when that building came down, dude, it was worse than Mount St. Helens.
You mean when that building was blown up, don't you?
By your reasoning,
it didn't?
Building 7.
Look at the video, man. Look at the video of it. It blew up and out sideways, man.
Excuse me?
It blew sideways, just like this. The video. Look at the video of it.
No.
You're telling me it just fell straight down?
No.
Right.
It went.
Yeah, imploded was the word you're about to use. That's what it did.
I'll give you my left nut if it happened your way.
Right.
You know, you're wrong.
Okay. My left nut.
You're wrong.
Okay.
The building came down on itself.
How tall was the building?
Excuse me?
How tall were they? How many stories?
102.
110. Okay.
110.
How fast did they collapse?
I have no idea.
You have no idea how fast they collapsed, but you're gonna tell me in my face that my opinion is bullshit and you haven't even met me. Okay. Okay.
I'm
How about this? The buildings collapsed in 10 seconds. Okay. One collapsed in 8.6 seconds. The other collapsed in 10 seconds. So I'm supposed to believe that a 110-story building collapses into itself.
Seconds?
No. 10 floors a second.
Whoa,
10 floors a second. No.
Stop singing your song.
No. I can sing anything I want.
You can hold up. How long did it take for the building to fall after the plane hit it? Don't sing me what you want me to hear. How long did it fall?
From the time it started collapsing, 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
I didn't ask you from the time it started to collapse. I asked you from the time the plane hit it. Answer the question.
Oh, it burned for like an hour.
Smart man.
It burned for an hour. Burned for an hour.
So what's your 10 seconds?
My 10 seconds is the time that it collapsed, man.
Yeah, you're full of shit.
The time that it collapsed. It collapsed in 10 seconds.
An hour and 10 seconds,
no.
partner.
No, nothing
what
fell.
What do you mean, no?
Nothing was falling. It just
nothing
stood
was
there.
happening. So
no,
a plane
it was burning.
hit it.
It was
Nothing
burning.
happened.
It burned. Hey, man,
it just burned.
The Windsor Building in Madrid, Spain, man. The Windsor Building in Madrid, Spain, burnt. The next day, still standing there. 24 hours. Oh, so if somebody knows something, you start walking up and screaming and calling me a dumbass.
I challenged you and you got mad.
Right. I'm just giving you facts. The Windsor Building in Madrid, Spain, burned for 24 hours.
You told me it doesn't matter. The plane hit it. 45 minutes.
Right. 10 seconds.
You're talking 10 seconds.
Into itself.
10 seconds, my ass.
From the time
an hour and 10 seconds.
No, it wasn't collapsing for an hour. It was burning for an hour. Okay?
Oh, and that had nothing to do with the collapse. It was a big explosion.
Okay, what's jet fuel made out of? You have any idea? You have any idea of the burn temperature of it? You have any idea of the melting temperature of steel? You have any idea of any of these facts of physics?
Yeah.
Tell me, please, tell me. What's the burn temperature of steel?
When that amount of jet fuel...
No. What's the burn temperature of steel?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Do you know what jet fuel's made out of? It's made out of kerosene. Okay? It burns at 1800 degrees. That's
if you think you can... If you
steel melts at 3000 degrees, man.
That you can befoogle me
I'm not
with your little bit
you.
of tidbits of
information. It's called physics. Okay?
You don't know
physics.
You don't know shit about physics, dude.
I don't know shit about physics.
No, you don't.
Okay.
No, you don't.
Okay. So
and if you
I'm
do,
a dumbass and I'm wrong, and that's all you're going to say, right?
Listen.
Okay.
Listen.
One of my colleagues who is right in the middle of the collapse of those buildings is CNBC's Ron Insana, who went down with a cameraman hoping to get close to the World Trade Center, and then it began to come down. The first one. Ron, take us through what you experienced.
Well, Tom, much of the area had been, in fact, cordoned off, and the cameraman from MSNBC and I were trying to get across to the west side of the World Trade Center in order to hook up with the rest of the NBC crews that we knew were there. As we were moving towards the building, we saw the top begin to blow out in a plume of smoke, and we heard the noise associated with an implosion. We turned and immediately ran for cover in the other direction as debris began to rain down.
10:30, I tried to leave the building, but as soon as I got outside, I heard a second explosion and another rumble and more smoke and more dust. I ran inside the buildings, the chandeliers shook, and again, black smoke filled the air. Within another 5 minutes, we were covered again with more silt and more dust. And then a fire marshal came in and said we had to leave because if there was a third explosion, this building might not last.
As we were getting our gear on and making our way to the stairway, there was a heavy-duty explosion.
Some of the people out, then there was those secondary explosions, and then the subsequent collapses. I don't know how many people were there. I know there was a lot of firefighters.
New York's bravest never had a chance.
We really never even got to that close to the building. The explosion blew and it knocked everybody over.
The FBI is here, as you can see. They had roped this area off. They were taking photographs and securing this area just prior to that huge explosion that we all heard and felt.
Most of the victims so far were people outside the blown-up buildings.
Like, it sounded like gunfire. You know, bang, 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 bang. And then all of a sudden, 3 big explosions.
To me, it sounded like an explosion. Then the building, the rolling sound sounded like the building collapsed.
Top floors collapsed down. I saw it blow and then ran like hell. Thank God. I'm 69, but I can still run.
Next thing we know, it was boom, and the floor started shaking. And then we saw debris fall down, and next thing we know, we had to get out of the building. We stuck on the stairs for a while. We finally got down to the lobby. Then we get to the lobby, there's this big explosion.
Well, me and Mr. Hesh, Corporation Counsel, were on the 23rd floor. I told him we got to get out of here. We started walking down the stairs. We made it to the 8th floor. Big explosion. Blew us back into the 8th floor.
I was making my way to the foot of the World Trade Center. Suddenly, while talking to an officer who was questioning me about my press credentials, we heard a very loud blast, an explosion. We looked up, and the building literally began to collapse.
Rose Housey, one of our CNN producers, is on the phone. Rose, what do you got?
I'm about a block away, and there were several people that were hanging out the windows right below where the plane crashed, when suddenly you saw the top of the building start to shake, and people began leaping from the windows. In the north side of the building, you saw 2 people at first plummet, and then a third one, and then the entire top of the building just blew up, and splinters of debris are falling on the street.
On 9/11, New York City lost 343 firefighters at the World Trade Center. Since they were the ones inside the towers before and as they collapsed, I'd say they've got a pretty good grasp on what happened.
Stories high, and the lobby looked as though a bomb had exploded there. All the glass was taken out. There were 10-foot by 10-foot marble panels that were once walls. They were loose from the wall of the Trade Center.
Firefighter Louis Caccioli told People Weekly, "I was taking firefighters up in the elevator to the 24th floor to get in position to evacuate workers. On the last trip up, a bomb went off. We think there were bombs set in the building."
Sleep, little child. We'll do all your thinking for you. Go back to sleep. 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 Go back to sleep.
These were the men that secured our nation. In this, I think, is glory, glory, glory. Is glory, glory, glory. Is glory, glory, glory.
If you guys liked watching that little altercation with the guy in the white tank top, you're going to love watching the Blues Festival security people threaten to break my camera and throw me and my camera in the water. All I was doing was minding my own business and explaining to people that they had a Fourth Amendment right, and this hired goon comes up and tries to intimidate me. To add insult to injury, they actually tried to steal my 9/11 truth sign and place it behind the fence. Just crazy stuff. I walked over and asked them for it back, and they turned their backs on me. They weren't going to give it back until I threatened to call the police on them.